Welcome to the Wally Report, MMA Savvy exclusive. What's up, fight fans? It's your favorite host, Ari Weiss, and today we'll be discussing UFC Fight Night Burns vs. Morales that took place in Vegas on Saturday night. And in ceremonial savvy fashion, we'll go through the card, analyze all the big moments, and dissect the official results. Plus, today we'll be covering all the insane MMA news that dropped last week. So with that, let's go straight to the card and get started. UFC Fight Night Burns versus Morales that took place Saturday night at the Apex, which I'm sure I'll have some negative comments probably to say about that, but it was in Vegas, baby. It was a pretty good card, and it was a pretty great matchup, so I'm going to try not to complain too much here for the Apex nonsense. Before we get to the main card, I just wanted to touch one prelim here. Let's talk about our boy Jared Gordon versus Thiago Moises. Now, this was a featured prelim. Now, if you all remember Gordon, he took Paddy Pimblett to the brink, and a lot of us thought maybe Gordon had beat him. I did too, even though it was a Paddy guy, and I was pissed about it. But a lot of people thought Gordon won that fight. I think he did win that fight 29-28. So he's kind of like, since that loss, he had a little bit of a layoff. There's some injuries. Fights got canceled, and now he's finally back against a guy, Moises, who's fought top-tier guys, right? And Jared went in there in the first round, landed a massive punch. What a feeling for him. And I didn't realize he's a New York guy. He's a Queens guy. I got to support him. Metropolitans, baby. So I might slowly becoming, maybe I'm a Flash Gordon guy now. I don't know, but that was a big win, and it puts them on the map. The other lightweight contenders need to look out for this fellow. So I just wanted to call that out because we do all the prelims here at Savvy, baby. Okay, let's get to the main card. So, Juicy J, Richie's boy, Julian Erosa versus Costa. This was a pretty good featherweight fight here. It did get fight of the night. They went back and forth. This was insane. Costa just was so sharp, man. He had won 3 straight coming in, right? Erosa came off that big win against Elkins, but Costa just looked so good. And in the first couple rounds, he was better with the strikes. He was sharper. Erosa was throwing, but a little bit more erratic, a little bit more all over the place. He wasn't as sharp as Costa. And man, Costa has really impressed me. He takes the first 2 rounds, also really rallies in the third round, and it could have gone either way, but Costa did enough, 29-28 to get the win. Definitely fight of the night. It was one of those rock'em sock'em robots. Erosa even had Costa kind of hurt near the end, but I just didn't think he had enough power near the end because he was tight. If he had went on that flurry in the first round, it might have been a different story. But anyway, Costa now has won 4 straight. He's someone you look out for in the featherweight division. Scary guy, another Brazilian coming up. Look out for him. Then we got another just crazy. I mean, there was this whole fight card. Yes, it was the Apex, but listen, these guys brought it, man. They really brought it. Razubiev versus Stolfus in a middleweight bout. Now, this was back and forth. Stolfus was in it, but Razubiev he was just a little bit better, man. He just had unbelievable striking. By the way, this guy's fucking 6'5". Me and Richie Boy were going nuts about this. This guy's 6'5" and cuts down a middleweight. I even heard them say that he even fought at welterweight sometimes, which is insane. So the size, the length, I mean, that's a light heavyweight height, and he's fighting down at middle. He could be a major problem. Anyway, Stolfus was in it, but Razubiev just had the better striking, the better grappling, all-around game, and he did more damage, especially in those first couple rounds. Stolfus kept trying to fight back with the takedowns, and in the third round was very close. You could have maybe gone either way, but Razubiev did enough to get the unanimous decision. I think it was 29-28, or it might even been 30-27. But this guy's scary from Uzbekistan, another just wild, middleweight division. How many times do we got to say this? Stolfus might still be around, but he's really got to improve a little bit to deal with these major killers in the division. All right. Interesting lightweight fight here. Remember in the pre-fight analysis, I did talk about Yusuf coming up. He had been a featherweight contender, and he's now, it looks like he's got up to lightweight. He's challenging this new guy, Santos, who was a Contender Series winner. And the first round was close. I got to say, the first round was really close. It could have gone either way. I think Yusuf might even have won that first round. Santos then turns the fight around, though, and gets round 2 pretty decisively. And then you get to the third round, and that was also really close. So I know this was unanimous Santos, and Richie Boy feels like this was Dos Santos's fight, but I got to say that was very close. I don't think Yusuf did enough to win, but man, it could have gone either way. It wasn't super clear to me. There's no way in my eyes Santos got all rounds, but anyway, it went towards Santos. He's a new, young, hungry guy you got to look out for at lightweight. Another Brazilian coming up. This seems to be the theme recently. Yusuf, I'm a little bit bummed because he was a big featherweight contender, as we talked about before. He definitely looked bulkier. And it looked like he had a shot, but, if he can't beat this up-and-coming guy, I don't know what he's going to do now for his career. So I'm a little bit confused where Yusuf goes now. All right. Then, of course, the Bellato-Craig fight got canceled. Normally, I'd be up in arms, but I didn't really care about the fight. We were gypped that we got one less fight, but I wasn't that bummed, right? Losing that fight, as you guys know, because I was kind of laughing it off a little bit in the pre-card analysis. So we go straight to the main event. Burns versus Morales, number 12 in the world, 17-0 kid from Ecuador, is only 25 years old, versus Burns, number 8 in the world. Yes, he's lost 3 straight, but as Richie Boy said, it was all against top talent. Sometimes that's a little bit unfair. And I really thought, even though Morales was heavily favored here, that Burns was going to have a chance to reset himself, to maybe save his career, because you never want to lose 3 straight, and especially not 4. And man, Morales came out. He's a big welterweight. He looked really big at 170. And Richie even said, man, this guy looked like a video game. He came in there with some great punches. Burns hung in there. He even went for a takedown, and he almost had it. He was grappling him a little bit. I'm like, all right, Burns is going to be in this, right? He looked just a little bit small in stature against the larger Morales. And then all of a sudden, this flurry came. Morales hits him with this right and didn't look like a massive right, and Burns went down, and I was kind of like, wait, what? Usually Burns really fights till the end. Think about that Chimaev fight where he just didn't give up, and he fought all 3 rounds. So I was a little bit surprised. He was kind of going down and almost giving the fight away here, and then a flurry, boom, fight's over. And I was a little bit shocked at first. I was like, damn, did he get that hurt? And then during the replay, though, you saw that right that Morales landed was heavy duty. And I was like, oh, my God. So, boom, Burns is maybe toast, losing 4 straight. Yeah, I'm sure Dana and Hunter, they give him one more fight down the rankings because he's, taken all these big fights, and he's definitely a fan favorite. But his UFC championship career is probably over now. And then on the flip side, holy shit, Morales, he's the future, baby. He's 18-0 now. He's only 25. He's going to be 8 in the world. And now he might get a Gary. I don't know if Gary's going to want to fight down, but he'll get someone in that range, right? That 6-4 range. So his next fight is going to be so big and makes the division even more exciting. I think welterweight now, especially with that Jack Della situation, is now probably top 2, just maybe under middleweight of most exciting divisions in the UFC, maybe middleweight, welterweight right below it. But man, Morales is adding more talent to the mix. So overall, even though it was an Apex card, and I still say fuck the Apex, it's a bullshit place. Dana needs to clean it up. They need to do the renovations, blah, blah, blah. But overall, it was a great night of fights. I was actually into it. I wasn't that affected by the 0 crowd noise. And overall, and then yes, the sadness for Burns, but maybe the exciteness of Morales moving on. Okay. So that was the card. I hope you like these little quick, precise breakdowns. But the bigger news, baby, what I was more jacked up for this week, as we all know, is the fucking bookings, okay? On our show, we've been talking a lot about UFC 317 and how it had not been booked. And even on that last show with Richie Boy and Nico, we were going on. And then boom, a day later, it gets booked. So we all the fight fans in the world, for the casuals that don't know, it is now Topuria, Oliveira for the lightweight title, and that is the main event. I got to say, listen, for the fight fan that just wants any good fight, of course I'm jazzed up. It's a great fight, right? I'm even getting my way of Topuria not getting Islam and having to prove himself to go through Oliveira, okay? So I like it in that sense, but what I'm a little bit annoyed by, it's an underwhelming main event. This is a co-main in my eyes. Now, listen, you can see Topuria coming up, right, was the featherweight champion. Oliveira still the number 2 contender in the world. So it's still a pretty good fight. But listen, Oliveira got steamrolled by Islam. wrestled by Arman, and yes, he beat Chandler, but he almost got finished in the 5th. So this is not Oliveira of 2 years ago. If it had been Oliveira of 2 years ago, I'd be way more jacked up on this fight. It's still a good fight. The better fight would have been Topuria, Arman, Sarukian. That's the better fight, but because Oliveira has a bigger name, a bigger following, he had been the champ, so of course they're going to book this, especially because it has to be the main event now, so they need a name around it. If it had been Topuria, Tarzukian, then people would be like, who the fuck is this guy, right? You know, of course, we all know him, but I'm sure the casuals out there that, you know, come to International Fight Week would have been a little bit disappointed. So overall, I still think a great fight, but it should have been a co-main under something bigger, which we're going to get to. But whatever, you know, it is what it is. And then in the co-main, Pantoja, Kara France. Now listen, everybody knows, the big savvy fans know, I called this, baby. I said fucking Pantoja last week. Watch Pantoja pop up, and it's just kind of BS. Listen, I like the fight. I love Kara France. I like Pantoja, but just the excitement of flyweight just still fully, I wouldn't say is 100% there for me like the other divisions. So now just throwing this in as the fucking co-main, we're going to take it. It's a great flyweight fight, but this is not International Fight Week approved in my eyes. It's okay. Then let's just go down really quickly. And on our next big Excuse the Savvy, of course, I'll analyze more with Richie Boy Nico, but you got Dariush Moicano, both coming off losses. Still a great fight. I like it. I'm not jumping for joy over it, but I like it. Royval Kopp, that's actually a very big fight. Royval coming off the big win against Tyra, Kopp coming off the win against Almabayev, #1 contender in the world versus #6. And then you like it because you get all the answers for flyweight one night, because that's probably a #1 contender fight for the winner of Pantoja, Kara France. But I'm just not, flyweight still growing on me. So I'm like, am I that jacked up about it? And then you got Costa, Kopolov, Hermansson's back versus RoboCop. So there's some decent fights, and I'm excited just as a fight fan, and I like some movement and think they're going to be great fights. But is this what we all hoped and dreamed of? 100% no. And so I'm left being like, this is exactly what I said, that Jones held everything up, and then Islam, and then of course it wasn't Dana's fault with the injury with DDP. If it had been DDP, Chimaev in the main, and then Topuria, Oliveira in the I would be much more jacked up. I'd be like, all right, we did it here. But to me, again, this is another fill-in fucking card because Dana can't get the right fights in time for these big cards. But speaking of, to get our spirits up, because I know it was a bit negative there, let's end with DDP Chimaev. Now, it's not booked the same night, but at least we got it in August. I love the fight. I mean, this is one of the biggest fights in the world now because DDP, against all odds, beat every contender handedly, went all the way to the top, and now he looks like a very, very worthy, scary champion. I'm liking DDP more and more. He's a big hulking guy. Now, on the other side, Chimaev is maybe the scariest grappling specimen we've almost ever seen in the UFC, right? And he looks like he can blitzkrieg everybody. I mean, what he did with Whitaker, no one thought he was going to do that with Whitaker. We thought at least Whitaker was going to stand up for himself. If Burns fought him 3 rounds, how did Chimaev run through Whitaker so easy up in middleweight? I was at welterweight with Burns. So your thought is he going to do the same thing to DDP? I say no, baby. I mean, Chimaev probably wins the first round with the grappling, but I think DDP is strong enough, and he just keeps defying all odds. I say he's able to weather the storm, lose round 1, and then as Chimaev gets hurt, now it's not Burns stalking you. This is DDP, who seems to have a knack for almost finishing everybody. Strickland with the broken nose, and Izzy with the big punch, and then the submission. So I don't know. It'll be very close, but this is the big, exciting fight. So thank you, Dana. It's not International Fight Week, but at least we got a fucking book for the following, month and a half later. So I like this. They're ending strong. This is jacking me up. And now we do have some pretty great fight nights throughout the summer. So I hope you like this update of the news, baby. We break hot news here and we dissect it and we analyze it. So that's it for this week. If you love these shorter episodes, make sure to hit subscribe. And If you are a real MMA enthusiast, don't forget to check out the extended Excuse This Savvy podcast episodes that come out every 2 weeks. With that, we want to thank you for listening to the Wally Report, the world's hottest podcast. Please subscribe, follow, comment, like, share, and blast. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on YouTube. We're blasting hard at the talk. And we're heavy on the gram at the Wally Report. That's at the Wally Report. We've been posting amazing video clips from our episodes on our social channels, so don't miss out. And please make sure to comment on Spotify, comment on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We love the comments and interactions with the fans. So with that, stay savvy, fight fans.